chilling here with my buddy Rob,
Okay.
that I've known for probably 16, 17, 18 years.
Been a while. So
And-
whenever you came here, that's when we met.
Yeah, and we're messing with pedals today. So what do we have here, Rob? Tell me exactly what's going on.
So this is a cool dual amp rig.
Okay.
So the idea, a lot of guys like to play with multiple amps.
Okay.
Here's kind of a way to do that, on a pedal board.
Yeah.
So what I have is Dream and Ruby. You'll
Okay.
see people talking about this on forums. I call them Druby rigs. It's kind of become
Druby?
a thing. Yeah. I don't know where that came from. I've read it on a bunch of forums, and they use the two together. So what I'm doing in this particular rig is I use a Big Shot ABY from Radial.
Okay.
And I have guitar into that. One side feeds the Druby, the other side feeds the Dream,
Okay.
each in mono. And what's interesting about these two is if you're in the top boost mode or the brilliant mode of the Ruby, they're actually out of phase with one another. So what this will also allow me to do is flip the phase of Ruby so that it's in phase with Dream.
Okay, yeah.
So you could use it. There's direct box. Anything that'll flip phase will do that.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in the normal channel, they're actually in phase without anything else. But this is actually the way AC30s are built. If you look at the way they're actually made, you take the actual amps and set them there.
Okay.
When they add the top boost circuit, it actually inverts the phase.
Huh.
And what's also interesting is if you're in the normal mode and you engage the treble booster,
Okay.
that also flips the phase.
Oh, nice.
So it's like crazy confusing, but it's the way they actually are in real life. So if you had the amps, this is recreating that scenario. But the sound a lot of guys like, you see these a lot in House of Worship rigs and things like that.
Okay.
Because you could do this, top boost, Dream, and then like you add Astra and a little bit of reverb here at the end, and you get these big, beautiful, wide swimming, and you could just play these cool things they'll set under there and just get,
So this is going
high-fi.
through these two amplifiers on the sides of it?
No, actually, each of these rigs actually runs into a volt that feeds my little Boss stereo line. That's my volume control, and then that feeds the QSC CP8 monitors, which are amazing for guitar. They just sound wonderful.
Are they like
with that.
the reference monitors? Like I know Friedman makes like a reference monitor.
These are just their PA speakers, but I've been playing with these a fair bit. I just put them in wedge mode. They have like a little switch on the back in different modes. Put them in wedge mode, and just something about the way the top in and it rolls off the bottom just right, and it just feels really good with guitar
awesome.
stuff.
That's
so
cool.
you can kind of build all that out. This is the same thing over here.
Okay.
But it's using Woodrow and Dream, and if you're in Brilliant here, these two are in phase, and that's the way I tend to always work here. But I've got Max with two compressors. I set up 1176 LA2A that are just basically LA2A that I tend to leave always on. This is the rig that I've been using myself a lot.
Okay.
So I'll do LA2A always on, just fattens it up. 1176, that's more of a lead boost compressor, give you that little gain into it. That feeds a Starlight, in mono.
Starlight's like a traditional echo?
This is actually set to Deluxe Memory Man right now, but it's got tape echo and a digital delay, and so an old Cooper Time Cube in there, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Eddie trick, is the Cooper Time Cube, and that feeds the two amplifiers. So when you turn this on, what happens is it's not a delay, but it's two delays with exactly the same settings, but not synchronized. So they're slightly different. So when you feed one into the left, one into the right, it gets super wide. You get this big, beautiful wide thing. So this, again, I a lot of times just slap back or whatever, just get them to be a little bit different, and then feed that into the stereo effects. And same idea, but just a little different tone.
So the UA pedals, because they're just new to me, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Did Universal Audio bring someone in to create these?
Yeah, actually, for me, before I was here, I was at Digidesign. I was part of the whole 11 rack thing. A guy I worked with, there was a guy named James Santiago. He's been out here at Gearfest. You've probably seen him around before. But James is just like, whatever. And so he was brought in to do this. And then also Tor Mogensen, who's here with us today, who used to be at TC Electronics. So he's like, he's been in pedals his entire life.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do
designed
something
tons of pedals.
time-based.
So the two of those guys are the genius behind the whole UA effects, pedal thing, as well as Ox, So.
I've not been able to use any of these yet, just because I haven't had like an opportunity or a reason.
You know where you can.
Yeah, I know.
We have 18 pedals now, and we have more stuff coming out all the time. So we've been, we've only been in the business for a few years. But we've been, pretty prolific in terms of cranking out new stuff.
Yeah, no, you can tell they're made well. And these are all like analog potentiometers in here, or are these digital?
These are all digital.
All
So
digital,
like all our
okay.
things, when I talk about the 1176,
Yeah.
that's basically our 1176. And each one of these dual button units actually has 4 processors in it. So there's more DSP power in any one of these boxes than an entire quad cortex, but it's dedicated to one thing. So you know how you is. We're about recreating hardware in the most realistic way possible. So what's cool about all of this is we're throwing, I mean, this couldn't exist in a DSP plugin because there's just no way to chain together 4 DSPs like that in your workflow. So that's where stuff like this allows us to do. It's just so much power you can do pretty amazing stuff.
I mean, it's built well. You know, the knobs feel good on them. You know, it's got a traditional look. You know, I dig them.